Hey guys, it's Professor Milo here again, with yet another video. This video will be similar to my last one about Lego Batman, Legacy of the Dark Knight, although it may be slightly shorter, as not much of this video's subject has been seen. Today we'll be talking about my hopes for the DCU Batman, as well my wish list for his rogues gallery. So without further ado, let's get into it. Now, let's start off with the Dark Knight himself. Now, if you're asking who I'd cast for him, I don't really have an answer. I'm not really into fan casting, but I will tell how I want him to be characterized and his appearance. So for the suit I'd say something similar to how his classic blue suit looked in the Batman Hush storyline, because that is one of my all-time favorite designs of him. It looks awesome at all times. Another suggestion I'd make would be his Len Wein design, which was also really good, and it would give off a touch of nostalgia to it as well, as Wein's Batman comics are some of the greatest and most classic ever. Now, moving on to his personality, I'd say they should strike a middle between making him weakened from his war on crime, and making him snarky and jolly. I think a Batman that isn't too torn up, but also isn't exactly okay either is the best one. I like mix-ups with my Batman personalities, and this one should be no different. Just don't make him overly comedic like they did to Superman in his film. That's just overdoing it. Okay, so just a heads up before we start, I won't be talking about any villains from the last video, even if I really want them to appear, as having a villain in both videos would be boring and repetitive, so I will pick new villains for this list. Okay, so now that that's over with, let's start the list with... Ah yes, good old Mad Hatter. I'm surprised with how popular he is that he hasn't appeared in a live-action film yet, but the DCU could change that. So, my idea is to have his origin similar to that car version of him, where he's an employee of Wayne Industries working on mind control chips. He's bullied and mocked every day for his frail appearance, and takes refuge to calm down in his hat shop, where he reads the Alice in Wonderland books. Eventually, after enough bullying, he snaps and starts controlling people to make them do his bidding, and becomes the Mad Hatter. Now we have Man-Bat. Now for him I think we should get a whole movie like Clayface is going to get, as he certainly has potential for that. The film should be a monster movie style flick with the bat-obsessed scientist Kirk Langstrom experimenting to cure deafness. His lab is filled with pet bats and such, so we know just how obsessed this guy is. Anyways, the experiments keep failing, and because he doesn't want to try the serum on a test subject out of fear it might kill them, he tests it on himself, and slowly begins growing more bat-like until he becomes Man-Bat. Daggett could definitely fit into the DCU in some way, as he was involved in Clayface's origin story in the animated series, so he could appear in the Clayface movie, as it looks like they're basing their Clayface's origin off of that one. His role would mostly be the same as in the episode, so not much change needed here. Just make him look more accurate to his original design than in The Dark Knight Rises. I don't know why when some characters get the live-action treatment, they look nothing like themselves, and it's kind of annoying, not gonna lie. As the DCU is leaning into the sillier elements of DC, and including more obscure characters like the Rainbow Creature, I think Dr. Pneumo could be included in a brief appearance, maybe robbing some bank using his egg gun and being taken down by Batman. It's not much, but Pneumo is honestly a pretty neat villain and it would be nice to see him again. Music Meister would fit this universe like a glove, and I think he has a good chance of appearing, at least in a cameo, as he seems to have been appearing more as of late, in the comics and in the Batwheels series. For my idea, I think he'd make a good villain for the dynamic duo film, with Batman and Robin having to work their issues together while also trying to stop the Meister. I think that would be a fun and quirky idea. Solomon Grundy, Chemo, Imposter Mad Hatter, Roxy Rocket, Condiment King, and Clock King. In summation, there are a lot of fun possibilities for the DCU's Batman and his villains. Will they all come to pass? Probably not, but we can all hope, so keep on dreamin'. Anyways, that's the end of my video guys, hope you all enjoyed it. If you did, remember to like the video and subscribe, as I'm going to continue being more active, so stay tuned. Bye everyone. Now excuse me, I'm gonna get back to the lab and prank some dumbers.